Hey everybody, it's Mandy from Trouble Forge. So obviously I'm coming to you from my pantry. It's January 1st. It's the first day of the Pantry Challenge. If you're not familiar, Jessica at Three Rivers Homestead has been doing this for several years. She's talked about it on YouTube and Instagram for the last several years. The idea is that you don't buy groceries in January and February. One, to save money, and two, to work down the things in your stores, like, you know, a million jars of applesauce. So it helps you figure out where you might be short on things. So like, are you not generally storing enough broth or flour or sugar or whatever it is that your family uses a lot of? So I'm doing this for a few reasons. One, to save money and save diesel fuel, you know, driving to the store and things like that. Two, to work through things that maybe we typically ignore. So there might be a few things on the shelf that like we canned and we just like generally don't love it. But we have some cans of it that we need to finish up. That's a big reason for me doing this. I also want to clear out a freezer or two. So I show in my pantry tour, but I have a few chest freezers. I have some stand-up freezers over here. And what I want to do, so during this challenge, I really want to focus on a few things. I want to work down my freezer so that we can get half a steer. I want to continue to hone my sourdough skills, and I want to start doing more with clabbered milk. So we buy milk from 2 local farms, typically depending on what direction we're going. We pay $5 a gallon for raw A2 Jersey milk. We take our half-gallon jars, we fill it out of the tank. If we go to the one farm, the other farm, you use their bottles. Typically, we really like to get it out of the tank. Last time we got it, it was like warm going in, like it had literally just come out of the cow. So that was awesome. Anyway, as I usually we go every 2 weeks to get milk or so. I usually get 10 to 12 gallons depending on what's available. I use that to usually make a gallon of yogurt a week. We'll use it to make cottage cheese. And then the rest of it, for the most part, we drink, or like we might try to do something fun during the challenge, like make ice cream with it. We got a vintage ice cream machine, like the crank style, at the thrift store for like $10 or $15. So we'd like to practice with that. We got the salt and all that kind of thing. It's not something that we've done before. We've not made ice cream. But during the challenge, I really want to start working more with clabbered milk, doing more with clabbered milk, and getting all the good gut health benefits of that. So those are going to be my goals. Obviously, we're just going to save money in general because I'm not going to go on the Sam's app and just order some extra things just to have some extra things. We have friends, J&S Basement. I've done a video on them before. They are local to Lancaster County in Pennsylvania. But I typically spend, I don't know, $100 or $200 with them a week stocking up on different snacks. So I'll get things like meat sticks and granola bars and things, a lot of things that we can use as we're traveling back and forth. If you're unfamiliar, we moved in, so we bought this house in February, we moved here in June. We share my oldest son, so we are traveling back and forth 2 hours each way, twice a month, sometimes 4 times a month, depending on how it falls, with grandparents helping shuffle him around and whatever. So I try to stock clean things like meat sticks and granola bars and whatever. They sell a lot of that kind of stuff, and then we can use those snacks in the car so that you know, we don't stop and buy like fast food. Like, we take that stuff with us. So I won't be spending money there. I won't be spending money at Sam's Club. I won't be spending money at our local Amish discount stores. We have not dug into Azure Standard, but that is also something I will not be starting until maybe at least March, because we are not buying groceries. So you can make an allotment for yourself for whatever suits your family, whether that's going to need to be fruits and vegetables or milk or whatever it needs to be for you. Every few days, I will take you through kind of what we've been making, how we're using up our stores. I have a lot of people ask, you know, how do you use all this food that you store and preserve? So something we're going to do this month is just kind of take you through what we're going to be making. I'll have other videos like in between too, like how to, you know, my typical videos, how to this and how to that. So tonight, Zad, I put an assortment of leftovers. We just got home from my parents. We did Christmas with Zad's family yesterday. We did New Year's with my family today. Obviously, my parents fed us while we were there, and Zad's parents fed us yesterday. We had some leftovers in the fridge. So I threw at Zad some chipped beef, some ham, some deer bologna that was in the fridge. There were some random pieces of like Munster mozzarella and maybe like some goat cheese or sheep cheese that needed used up. We had a sourdough loaf that I had made the other day that was, you know, they're like fresh for a few days, so it really needs used up. I think there was some beets. I don't know what other kind of random things. So, oh, there was some sweet potato like casserole that we had made the other day too, like after Christmas. So he is going to use those things up tonight. So right now he's working on like an open face sandwich. So sourdough on the bottom, meat, some cheese. He's heating up the sweet potatoes in the air fryer. So side story, this house has propane, which is what we wanted. We don't like cooking on electric. We much prefer propane. We don't have a big tank set up yet. At our old house, we had a 500-gallon tank buried in the backyard, which we loved, and we only had to get filled with propane like once a year because we heat with wood or coal. But here we are currently working out of two 100-gallon, which is the tall skinnies, and 100-pound. So we have to get those filled like every couple months. And of course we come home tonight, it's late, it's cold, and we are running out of propane. So we have the extra one, but we're gonna scoot through with this. So Dad's heating up the sweet potatoes in the air fryer and finishing this up. Tomorrow we will be swapping that propane tank. All right, so Zad's finishing plating. I just want to make one more note. If you're new here, Zad had a heart attack about 2 years ago, and we really overhauled our eating then. So that's why we're pretty anal about, just for everyone's health in general. At that point, Zad had his heart attack. I was over 300 pounds. We were not eating well at all. We were cooking a lot of meals and using a lot of okay ingredients, but we were way overeating. So that is something we have both always struggled with, is food addiction. And that's something we've really had to rein in since he had his heart attack. So everyone is much better now, and way closer to goal weights than we certainly were at that point. But it is a big reason that we cook a lot of our meals from scratch, because we know exactly what's in it. All right, so Zad finished this up. We have Susan. You're so noisy. So he is finishing plating, getting the babies. We always do like little plates for the babies. So we have our sourdough here. We have the meat mixture I talked about. This was some leftover caramelized onions. There's some cheese on there, beets, a little bit of leftover sweet potatoes. Typically for the littles, we'll offer them what we're having, just in much tinier portions. Sometimes they eat it, sometimes they don't. It's kind of a crapshoot, and they're toddlers, so we just offer it to them, and if they eat it, great, and if they don't, then that's okay too. So this is what's for dinner tonight. I hope you'll follow along with us during the Pantry Challenge and get inspired. And if you are a fellow YouTuber, I can't wait to watch all of you and see what you do and what creative things you come up with, especially as we get towards the end of February, and it gets a little bit dicier as far as what's available. So we'll see you all this month with videos about what we're making. And if you have any questions or anything, let us know. See you next time.